My parents got me into walking in the outdoors really early. I've got amazing memories of walking all over the UK. That's where I got my complete love for the outdoors and nature and spending as much time outside as I could.
He was a nice young man and wanted to explore, wanted to see so much.
Spending time with family and friends has always been really important to me. That's something I really got from Mum and Dad. Shared memories are what make a connection and a relationship of any kind. Connection matters, be that connection to a person, a memory, a place, a feeling, an experience. That's what really fulfills me. I've always enjoyed helping people. When I qualified as a doctor, I realised that actually I really loved the connection you could get through general practice with a patient.
He was always keen to learn.
Always.
From the caring side and the community side, yep, you could see that coming too. So it didn't surprise us at all when that was the avenue he wanted to go down.
There was a development down a particular road and he was off.
Got involved with the mountain rescue team. We would train people who weren't medical in their day job, take them through a training course to the point that they could give various different medications, diagnose and treat people who were found on the hill. I was trained up as a swiftwater rescue technician, so jumping in and out of white water and doing flood rescue work. I've always liked travelling. Australia and New Zealand, campervan around New Zealand, lots in France and Holland, Belgium, India, just experiencing that whole different culture and way of being. Travel around Switzerland, Mongolia with the Scientific Exploration Society. I love diving, it's like being in another world. Winter climbing in the Cairngorms and Glen Nevis up in Scotland. The most important thing with all of it was spending time with the people that we cared about. And that could have been anywhere in the world.
How lucky to find somebody that really is your soulmate. I mean, isn't that just such a wonderful thing? They were just friends.
Just friends.
They were just friends. What a good way of getting together. They were friends, and Kate invited him over on a day when it was her birthday. And Luke was busy and he thought lots of people were coming over. But actually Kate was inviting him and him alone to come over, but he didn't know. And so he was busy, had a lot going on, so he cancelled and he didn't go. And I think then she explained to him that there was only him. And then the relationship grew from there.
Luke, you may kiss your bride.
Everyone that meets him always describes him as a really kind, caring person who always puts other people first. He's really thoughtful, which always made him great as a date because he'd come up with really kind things and cute ideas. He's quite a sentimental guy.
She makes him so happy.
Yes, she does.
You know, and he makes her happy, and they are in tune. They've got their own separate things that they do, which is very healthy, but they're in tune, and they support each other tremendously.
In early 2022, I noticed that my right foot was kind of catching on the ground, and as you do, I thought I was a bit cold and a bit stiff. Yeah, and then I thought, it went on a little while, I thought, I've just tweaked something. We came back from honeymoon and sort of noticed it was still there. And I noticed a couple of times at work I'd struggled with fiddly little things in my hands, like squeezing out a little tube of dye for an examination, that kind of thing. I thought that this is not right now. It was all very subtle. I've got a referral to see a neurologist. They initially said motor neuron disease is unlikely. Motor neuron disease is known in most of the rest of the world actually as ALS. I had scans, blood test investigations, and they came back showing that I had a bit of softening in my spinal cord, my neck, which we thought was probably related to one of a number of old injuries. I saw another specialist who reviewed everything and said, actually on the basis of seeing you now, I don't think we can rule out MND. That was pretty hard, actually. I remember sitting in the car afterwards and crying and just thinking, God, I really hope it's not this. I'd take most other things instead. I saw one of the local MND specialists who confirmed, yeah, this is motor neuron disease. Pretty devastating is the only words I can really think of. MND is it's a life-limiting, degenerative neurological condition. So we don't know what causes it, but in essence, the connections, the neurons between the brain and the muscles start to stop working and die. And that results in gradual progressive weakness of muscle. It's a condition that has an average life expectancy of 2 to 3 years from diagnosis and from symptom onset. There's no cure for MND. I just remember thinking how I just didn't want this for anyone. I didn't want this for me, I didn't want this for my family. When I was diagnosed, Kate was 4 weeks pregnant with our son, Rowan. Unfortunately, when Kate was 31 weeks pregnant, Rowan died. And he was stillborn in October last year. Which is by far and away the hardest thing that's ever happened to me. He was and is a huge bright spark in our lives. And all of a sudden he was gone. Something that kind of came to me was that having a condition like MND inevitably will dominate my life. I can't change that. However, I sort of sat there and I thought to myself, the one thing I do have control over is the narrative of that domination. And I can use this as something that motivates me to say, I'm going to treasure and relish every moment I have with the people I love and the people I care about. We are undertaking a challenge to walk the length of Hadrian's Wall. Hadrian's Wall is, or was, built across the UK, from the east to the west, running from Bowness-on-Solway, near Carlisle, through to the area around Newcastle. And it was built initially on the orders of the Emperor Hadrian, the Roman Emperor, to essentially guard the northern border of the Roman Empire and to keep the Scots and the Picts out of England. It was a mix of stone wall and earth fortifications and ditches. There's parts where the Roman walls remain. In other areas there's just an earthen mound or a ditch, and in others you can't see any evidence of the wall at all. Running along the length of that wall is a National Trail walking path.
As a team, we are walking 84 miles west to east. We are doing that over 8 days, splitting it into some longer distance days and shorter days, and raise some money at the same time for some awesome charities. So my name is Doddy, and the MNDA charity, as well as Petals. And do it with fun people, his friends, his family, bring those together, spend some time with some awesome people as well. So do it in good company.
I knew the walk was going to be challenging. Because of the symptoms that I have, my legs are much weaker than they used to be. I struggle with the coordination of that. I struggle with the power needed sometimes when you're walking. Everything is just such hard work. For most people, you get jostled or knocked, you can throw your foot out and stop yourself. If I trip or get jostled, I take a step, I stumble and I fall, because I don't have that speed of muscle movement to get the leg out there quick enough or an arm out. It's hard on your endurance as well. Because of that muscle imbalance, I'm using my muscles in a very different way, and I'm overusing muscles that most people wouldn't be using so much when they're walking. It uses up a huge amount of energy. So I think because of all that, I knew it was going to be hard. It has been really hard. The first day was really tough. I hadn't slept well at all for a couple of nights beforehand. I was exhausted when we started, and I was anxious. Taking on this challenge is a big deal. And I was emotional. I had so many people around me who love me and care for me that in itself was emotional. And something that I think a lot of people don't realise is that when you have a condition like MND, if you're tired or if you're emotional, your symptoms tend to be worse. So if I'm in a situation where the adrenaline's rushing, I'm feeling uncomfortable or anxious, then my legs tend to shake more, I can't coordinate them so well, I can't get them moving so well. I wanted to walk every single step of this. I've had to accept that's not going to happen, and that happened on the first day. I did around 21 kilometres on that first day, and then walking along a narrow stretch of path where I couldn't use my sticks effectively, and I was trying to get through it without holding on to someone, and I just caught my feet and fell. I banged my arm, my knee, landed on my face, and that was really tough for me, because I lay there looking up at the sky thinking, have I just let everyone down? Have I bitten off more than I can chew? Success in this challenge when I started meant me walking every step of it. It meant me to be blunt, giving a big up yours to MND. And doing every step and smashing it. And I think I knew when I thought that it might not be achievable, and I knew that there might be a day I couldn't finish, or even a day that I couldn't do anything. I've had to reframe that which actually, in a funny way, is probably one of the best things that could have happened. Because whilst making memories of people was always the biggest part of this for me, it's just brought that so much into perspective now. Because I think now success on this challenge for me means doing as much of it as I can whilst looking after myself. It's not a success if I break myself every day trying to do as far as I possibly can step, and I either end up falling and injuring myself or being so exhausted at the end of the day that I can't move, or that actually come the end of this I'm in worse physical shape than when I started, because I can't recover that anymore. So now for me, success is doing as much as I can within that framing of actually number one priority is enjoying it and the people around me enjoying it. I think that's actually crystallized for me what the really important things are.
It's funny how my youngest brother can teach me more about life than I've ever learnt myself in all the years that I've been alive. He gives us strength, and that's the wonderful thing about Luke, my brother, who I'm very proud of.
Luke and Kate together have had everything thrown at them over the last year and a half, 2 years. And you could quite easily understand if they kind of just shut down, stop interacting with the world, and when this is too much for me, I can't cope, I'm just gonna ignore it type thing. But they haven't done that. With everything that's happened, they've worked through it, they've processed it, they've got at a point where actually they want to make the most of what they've got together, what they've got with their friends, and to overcome what's been thrown at them and still go forward with that mentality is, it's got all of my respect for that, and long may it continue.
He's always been someone that I've massively respected and looked up to as perhaps as a direction of the way things should be done, and that sort of guiding light that people look for throughout their lives.
I've realised that we shouldn't ever miss those opportunities to make a connection, to have a connection, We should smile at the people around us. We should tell people that we love them. We should tell people all the great things about themselves. We should stop and smell the roses, a cliche. We should stop and listen to the birdsong. We should take an interest in the world around us, because you feel so much more fulfilled when you do that. Don't let life pass you by. Do things when you get the opportunity. I think I've become more grateful for what I have. I think it goes without saying how much family have been getting me through this. Our whole family. I can never describe fully what that means to me. I don't want people to remember me primarily as the guy who had MND and did a big challenge and was brave. I want people to remember me as the person they laughed with and smiled with. I want them to remember me as me.
I'd like to say thank you to Luke. For what he's given us for the last 35 years. We've enjoyed the last 35 years, and the biggest part of that enjoyment has been having Luke around. I'd really like to say thank you to Kate too, because she's been fantastic.
And unbelievable what she's dealt with and had to carry. And I have greatest admiration. We both have the greatest admiration, really, that you could.
He will always see the best he possibly can for as long as possible. And that leaves a lot of love as well. He will just continue to share that love as long as he possibly can. Yeah, he will leave a void, a massive void.
There'll be a little bit of Luke left in all of us.
It's the people around us that we love and that we know and we meet who make us who we are. And don't ever, ever forget that and treasure it.